Yamaha has been a great help to me in a lot of aspects of my career. And they sent me over to do some bass clinics, and it was really funny because, they do a lot of, like, jazz guys clinics, but don't do too many rock or pop guys, so they didn't really know what to expect, and, like, the places were all, like, packed and everything, and it was really wild. Kids were screaming and yelling, so it was really cool to just go out there alone, no drums, no guitar, no vocals, no nothing, just go out and play bass. It was a really cool experience. Japanese people were so incredibly great to me. It's really like being on a different planet there with different language and everything was different. So you have extra strength, so you can play bass with big fat strings. So you need the two. It's not like this. It's like this.
今ビリーがやってたようにこのように指を、することによって、一本の指で弾くよりは力が入って、ベースの弦を、弾くことができるということです。
どうもありがとう。
I think the interesting thing about Japanese audiences is they really appreciate that soul blues influence on music, and Japanese audiences also can like many kinds of music. Not like in America, it's just I like only metal, or I will listen only to dance, or I will not listen to anything else but, it's like they listen to everything. Go to a Whitney Houston show, then to a Metallica show, so it is possible to do. I mean, myself, I like a lot of different acts, so it's really interesting to see that. I wish they'd do that in America,
What about some of your double-handed techniques?
Well, all my techniques are double-handed because I got to use both hands.
I mean the tap-on
Okay,
style.
I know what you mean. All right.
Trick question.
Yeah, right. Well, that actually developed a long time ago when I saw Billy Gibbons with ZZ Top. When he did that, I thought, oh, great, you can... For, I don't know, in one of their ZZ Top songs we used to do in the old bar band. So that's where it kind of came from. And then I realized that after that you can hit that note and you can even get more off it like that. And initially it was meant to just kind of enhance what the whole band was doing. It eventually turned into kind of a solo thing.
You use two fingers, don't you?
Yeah, definitely. That's the one thing that makes it different from a lot of guitar players. I see a lot of guitar players, as soon as they do this tapping thing, and bass players too, they do this like real lightweight, single finger little thing where they flip the note off. Now here's already the huge disadvantage. First of all, your arm isn't anchored anywhere.
Right.
So if you're running across a 60-foot stage, like I said before, or even in a bar and people are throwing beer on you, stuff like that, you're never gonna find out where you are, and your hand isn't gonna be. You're not gonna really know where you are. You've got nothing to really lock to. You're not gonna know where your hand is. So I do the old thumb again, locked on somewhere, like on the edge of the neck. Usually is a good spot. And also another thing I do, instead of just lightly doing it with one finger, the wrong way, which is down like that, that's just not a normal way for your hand to move. It's clamp this finger down on top of it, because on bass, as I said before, it's a real strength instrument, and you really need a lot of strength to put as much into it as possible, so as much comes off of your instrument. You don't have to depend on your amp and all this electronic stuff to make your sound come out. You got to make things read loudly off the instrument itself alone. Even yes, exactly. So the double finger really gives you a chance to knock it right off the neck if you want. Really gives you a chance to really hit down really hard. It gives you way more strength. I mean, if you try it against your hand, it's way more strength down like that. You're going to really need that strength to make it sound live. So it doesn't slow you up at all.
Now, when you do phrases like that, are you crossing fingers?
Oh, yeah. Sometimes I'll get this finger behind.
Uh-huh.
See, because it's all you're doing when you're tapping, for anybody that doesn't know about it, is, you know, if you're playing a line, you've got, like, these notes that you're playing. Well, you just move this finger in and play those notes for these fingers. So you're like, you can actually do a double on one finger, a trill like that.
Yes.
I used to drive keyboard players crazy because they couldn't figure out how I was doing that in the early days. So you're hitting down, pulling off, hit down, pull off, down, off, down, off.
That's an interesting technique.
Then you can move it too. And then move out of the... See how the thumb is always right there?
Right, an anchor point.
That way I'll always know that I'm going to hit right on that G and I get that real strengthening. Because I've just, again, I've seen so many guys go out on stage with this incredible technique, you can't hear it. You can't, it doesn't read because there's no strength behind it. You know, everybody spends too much time practicing at home alone. You should be out really with a band playing live and getting the kind of experience you really need to know what works and what doesn't. Because there's a purpose for learning all this stuff. And it isn't necessarily to sit in your bedroom and use it, you know, for whatever you're going to use it for. But the purpose of it is to perform and communicate and create music. And in order to do that, for my money, you got to do it live. So a lot of these techniques are meant, particularly, there may be a lot of other techniques that work very effectively, but this is meant to get out on stage and use under hot lights, with no monitors, with feedback, with everything.
Something you can rely on.
Exactly. So again, like just a couple of moves, like a...
Oh, wait, I saw you reaching down there. Now, what exactly was that all about?
Well, let me think now. Oh, okay. So if I was going to get... I need that note there. It's just an idea of how...
Hands crossing over.
Yeah, it's an idea of how things kind of get invented indiscriminately. They just come up. Mm-hmm. Instead of now, my arm is tucked into my body, and I'm doing this position. Now, if I need that note down there, this hand is free. It's not doing anything. Right. Now, do I change my whole arm position to stretch down and get that? Or can I keep it in the same place and use that?
Yeah.
Way easier move.
More efficient, isn't it?
And it looks better, too. So here you go over here. I mean, people are like, whoa, what the hell was that? So, actually, it's way easier to do. Sometimes some things are good because they make it look harder than it actually is, but sometimes they're actually useful. Like over-the-neck things. When I first did that, when I first went over the neck, I found that it was easier for me to get those two harmonics there than like this, because your hands curve this way. When you put them over the neck, they flatten out. So you want that flat for those harmonics like that. So it always tended to flatten out and be a little easier to do, even though everybody thought it was total showboat. It actually had a purpose there to be used. So again, so when you go behind like that, sometimes there is a use for it. And there's all kinds of ways you can do hammer-ons, as long as you understand what notes you're going for. The basics of it are to get that real strong, solid blast on that. So if you can do that, then your choice of notes is totally up to you, whatever you end up wanting to do.